Pastor Evan Alder. He's the youth pastor as well in Gaston, Alabama. And we are so honored, we're so pleased and excited to have him here. And as he comes and exhort you and minister the word, I want you to have your heart open, have your mind open to receive what thus saith God this morning. Amen.
I love that song. The actual verse, it says, for a day in your courts is better than 1,000. I would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of God than dwell in the tents of wickedness. I feel like this morning I want to talk to you about having a doorkeeper's heart. Because you don't need a stage to love Jesus. You just need to be a doorkeeper in the house of the Lord. You just need to be... Jesus came into the world in a manger, so he came in low. He came into the lowest of lows. They had no room for him at the end. I'm sure if they knew who he was, that they would have made room for him, but that was the whole point. He didn't want him, he didn't want them to know who he was. He wanted to come in low. And the problem I'm seeing in America is, if your fingers start falling off, you can stop. The problem I'm seeing in America, and as you can tell, if you cut on the news, you can see how bad America is. And we want to blame other people, we want to blame certain people, we want to say it's in Revelation, and I totally agree. It's in Revelation, it tells us exactly what's going to take place. Can I tell you something though? America reflects what the church looks like. And that's a hard pill to swallow. For me too, because I'm part of this thing too. But America right now reflects what the church in America looks like. Where you can say, Evan, that's not me. I love Jesus. And I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the ones who do it to climb the ladder. To do it for the time that it's all about what we can receive. This walk with Jesus is not about what we can receive. It's about what it costs you. We don't weigh the cost of following Jesus. In the Gospels, he said, if you want to follow me, you must die to yourself. We don't like the die to yourself part. Because it requires something of us. That's a part I've had to, over the past year, I've had to walk out. Can I tell you something? You walk that out the rest of your life. You walk that out the rest of your life. It's not something that you get all of a sudden. You don't get this thing. And there's too many people with the microphone who think they get this thing and they don't. No, we will never figure this thing out. That's why we need him. And that's why I'm in love with him.
Yes.
I love him not because of what he gives me, just because of who he is.
Yes.
Because of how good he is. We measure too much of his goodness off our circumstances. Your circumstances has nothing to do with how good God is. Bad or good. Just because good things are happening don't make you right, and just because bad things are happening don't make you wrong. His goodness is constant. His goodness is constant. You want to see your family delivered? Seek Jesus. Get on your face. Don't go to a pastor.
Come on, brother. Come on.
Don't go to some pastor to pray over you. Go seek Jesus. Go to Jesus. Cry. Man, there's too many churches out there, man. I'm not trying to bash any church. I'm sorry. I'm coming from my heart this morning. There's too many churches that we're all trying to build up something. He doesn't need a build up. He's not looking for you to hype him up. We started this new church on Coley Road in Tupelo, Mississippi. And there's going to be hungry people that walk through those doors right there. Make sure when they come in, it's not the same old thing. Make sure when they come in, they see you on your face seeking Jesus. That they see you on your face crying. Not because something's wrong, but because he's good. Not because there's something that you need something. You just cry because he's good. He's good. He's good. I believe you heard from the Lord to start this thing. I believe that you said yes. You're going to have to say no to men in order to protect your yes, though, to Jesus. You're going to have to tell people no. That's not how we're doing things. I sat in a service last week at my church, and I was telling Brother Steve, Miss Maya this last night, and I said, I've never been in a service where when the guest speaker was done, he set the microphone down and nobody moved. Everybody just started crying. Because the presence of God was so heavy in the room that nothing else mattered in the moment. I don't care where your church is located. This does not represent the church. Your heart does. Your heart does. And he does not like a prideful church. He does not want an arrogant church. He's looking for a low church. He's looking for a church that comes in low and they stay low. Because he will exalt you, but you stay here. He said, have childlike faith. You never figure this thing out. You never know how to do church. That's impossible. Yes, the way we're seeing America do it, it's easy to build it up, and it's easy to hype it up, and it's easy to sell the records and the albums and to get your message on YouTube. That's not what he's looking for. He's looking for your heart. He's looking for you to pour your heart out. When the woman with the perfume, she broke the bottle, it says that was probably worth a year's wage, year's work right there that she poured on his feet.
Yes, amen.
For she knew the cost. She knew the cost.
Hallelujah.
She knew the cost.
Hallelujah.
There's a cost to this thing. And we've built this thing around to where, well, what can I get from him? How can he bless me? I'm going to follow him so he can bless me. What if he never blesses you? What if he never blesses you? Is he still good?
Yes.
Is he still good? Is he still worth it? Is he still worth laying your life down? Is he still worth it? Because if he's not, then we need to check our hearts.
Yes.
And that's coming from a person who's had to check his several times, and I still have to check mine. To make sure I'm not in this thing for the wrong reason. To make sure that I'm in this thing right here for Jesus. And it's all about, I want to see Jesus, and I don't want to wait on the trumpet to blow before I see Jesus. I want to get on my face, and I want him to show me who he is. That way, when I see him face to face, I'm not shocked about what he looks like. I'm shook because of his presence. I'm shook because of how good he is. This right here is supposed to be heaven on earth. When you get together, it's supposed to be heaven on earth. Somebody, we were, how many of you know, like, when you go after him, when you go after Jesus, you know that things are going to come against it. The enemy always has a counter for the good thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm letting you know, things will come against this. That's just how it is. And it's nothing you're doing wrong. It just means you're going after it. The closer you get to him, the more things that follow, right? I mean, that's just how it works. And when he got off the shore in one of the Gospels, he was met by a demon. The demon came to him. He didn't go to it. So things going to follow. The closer you get to him, but the closer you get to him, the more safe you feel. The more of the protection, not from the harm, but just because you know, hey, I'm his. I'm his. He told Peter in Matthew 16. When Jesus came into the region, he asked his disciples, saying, "Who do men say that I am? The Son of Man?" So they said, some say John the Baptist, some say Elijah, others say Jeremiah, and one of the prophets. He said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" Simon Peter, I love Peter. I love Peter. I feel like he reflects all of us in some way. Simon Peter answered and said, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." If you keep on reading, it'll tell you in 18, "And I also say to you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church. I will build my church on you knowing me. I will build my church on you knowing me." It's not about, and I don't listen, I'm telling you my heart, so just hear me out. It's not about when you said that prayer at 5 years old. Lord, come into my heart. Do you know him? I'll tell you something that happened 2 years ago, or it was last year, and I get my years mixed up. And my wife was going through some issues in her brain, in her mind. She was going through a mental state, and we had a refiner service, and the day after that, I was asleep. She woke me up. She said, "Hey, what's that preacher's name you were listening to?" I told her. She cut it on. I didn't know why she woke me up. I was a little ill at her. Don't wake me up, you know what I'm saying? And so I roll back over. I wake up. She said, "Evan, the Lord healed me." I said, "What?" She said, "You remember when I woke you up at 3 o'clock in the morning? The Lord healed me." "What do you mean he healed you? What did he do?" I said, "Well, I started listening to this man. All of a sudden, I heard him ask me, he said, 'Do you want to be healed?'" She was like, "Yeah, of course." She said she felt this tingling sensation all the way down from her head to the bottom of her spine. She said she instantly was healed. No more depression, no more anxiety. So we get to church, and we tell our pastor. My pastor was a big crybaby. He was just boo-hooing, you know, and he was, and I got to service and I was preaching, and it dawned on me in the middle of service that he healed her. And that he was doing something in the healing. He was showing me who he was. There comes a time where you're put in situations, and if you look at your situation, you ever heard the saying, you become what you behold? You become what you behold. You trying to get rid of anger, but you keep looking at anger, guess what you're going to be? You're going to be angry. You're tired of having anxiety, but you keep looking at anxiety. Can I tell you what you're going to have? You're going to have anxiety. But if you look at Jesus and you behold Jesus, can I tell you what you're going to become? You're going to become like Jesus. I told that story. I was telling him, and this happened right after my pinball was. He had his first incident, and Dad called me. I was at work, and he said he didn't know if he was going to make it. That's when something had infection set up, got to his neck. And I remember I went out to my truck, and I was just crying. And I said, "Lord, I want you to heal him. I've never seen a healing before, never this close to my life. Like, I've heard of testimonies, but me personally, I've never seen anything happen." So obviously, it crept a little bit of like, does it happen? Will it ever happen in my life? Well, he went from the doctor telling my dad and my uncle, I'll give him 3 days, to he was completely healed. They said they'd never seen anything like it. They said they'd never seen anything like it, that he was so infected that they'd never seen somebody with this much staph in their bloodstream and survive. And I went back to that prayer and I was like, you were showing me who you were.
Come on.
Can I tell you, in November he passed away? But it wasn't from what they said it was. When we build this thing, I have no doubt in my mind, I'm honored to know Brother Steve and Miss Monya. I've known them for a very long time. And I've seen Miss Monya on stage. I've knocked the oil over. I better not. I've seen Miss Monya on stage cry. I've seen her shout. Seen her jump. I've seen her get on her knees. I've seen Brother Steve do the same exact thing. And I'm honored to have people in my life that I know that still do that. I'm honored to have people that I know that still seek the face of Jesus. I'm honored to have parents that had me and knelt beside their bed just to pray, to teach me how to pray. If you don't understand what this church is for, it's to show the next generation how to seek the face of Jesus. And that's a heavy weight to carry. That involves you laying stuff down that you wouldn't normally understand, that you wouldn't normally lay down, that you wouldn't normally, like, it's hard to let go of, like pride, because ain't nobody gonna say nothing to me, not in my church, right? It involves us understanding that I must put myself on the back burner in order to get somebody else to Jesus. It's understanding that that's my call. That's what we did. I got a youth group. They're about 12 to 15 of them. Let me tell you something. They're on fire for Jesus. They love Jesus. We meet on Wednesday nights. And the only thing, that's what I desire, is to watch the next generation seek the face of Jesus. Because that's what's going to change a generation. You are still equipping the next generation. And they're going to walk through the door, and they're going to look for the people that are not like the people that are down the road. They're tired of the same old, a couple songs, get a good sermon, head back to the house, and nothing changes. They're looking for the people who are hungry. Who are hungry? Who are the ones that are willing to dwell in the house of the Lord? Who are the ones that are willing to sit and wait on him to come? Who are those? Moses, when he got caught up the mountain, he don't know why he got caught. He said he'd go 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. He was up there, nothing would happen. Said he would go up and down, up and down. On the 5th day, the presence of the Lord showed up. He waited. He's looking for dwellers. He's looking for the people who would not just sit in a chair and say they went to church on Sunday. He's looking for the people who will get on their face. I don't care what denomination you are. Baptist, Methodist, Southern Baptist. I don't care. I don't care. We all worship the same Jesus. We all worship the same God. He is the same in the Baptist church as he is in the Church of God and non-denominational. He's the same Jesus. Whether we bring that attention to him or not, that's on us. That's on us. When he walks in a room, you can miss him. What if the woman never reached out her hand and said, Jesus, I need to just touch the hem of his garment. He don't have to say a word to me. What if she would have never done that? She wasn't going to miss the moment. When you walk in here, don't miss the moment. It's going to get uncomfortable. It's going to feel uncomfortable because you've never done it before. And if you have done it before, it's still going to be uncomfortable because the presence of God is uncomfortable. It reveals stuff inside of us that we don't want nobody else to see. That's why it talks about children of the light. We must live there. We must love it. And it shows us things about ourselves that we don't normally see, that we don't want nobody to see, that we know about, that we put in the place in our heart where we don't touch. Or we don't touch that place. We like, I'm gonna give you everything but this. Well, he wants that. He wants that. He wants the hard places. He wants the dark places. Well, Evan, I'm not good enough. I didn't ask you if you were good enough. I'm telling you, you are what he desires. You are. I said this last year, and I have lived it, and I've had to say it several times. Just because you desire it, don't mean it's from Jesus. Just because it's the desire in your heart to do something, don't mean it's from him. Give me my heart's desires. Your desire is him. That's your desire. This church, I know because I know these two sitting on the front row, their desire is to see Jesus. Get behind him. Get behind him. Understand that it will cost you. It will cost you days saying no to other people just to see Jesus show up. It will cost you. It will cost you saying no to people saying, no, I can't go there. I got to be at my church. He's doing something in my church. Come be at my church. Don't take him away. Don't say, hey, come be at my church. We're better than yours. I'm not saying that. I'm saying understand that there's going to be no's that have to be said and feelings that have to be hurt in order to protect the yes that you said. In order to say, I said yes to him. I can't tell you how many times my pastor has said no to people I know, and this made people mad. This made people upset. They didn't like it. They wasn't a huge fan of him after he said no. But his allegiance is not to them. If you go read in Israel, all the kings, what was their one main weakness that just about every one of them had? They started pleasing the people. They were not called to please the people. They were called to please him. If you want to leave a reign, if you want to leave a legacy behind for the next generation, stop trying to please the people who are sitting right there. Start trying to please him. They will leave, but there will be many come, and they will be hungry. They will be hungry. Make sure you have what's ready for them. Make sure that you have the food that they need. Make sure that when they walk in, they're greeted not only by you, but by the presence of God. That the glory of the Lord is so heavy in the place that there is not anything else that matters. You can sing a hymnal, or you can sing the next contemporary song that they got out. I don't care. It doesn't matter in the moment. He will use whatever you give him. All because your heart is after him. We say it best. We want to hit the vein that leads to his heart. And when you get in that vein, you stay there. And that don't matter how long you stay there, you stay there. And you live there. You live your life there. You live your life in that vein. You don't just get in it when you get here. You live it on Monday through Saturday too. You don't think about it is we have built a culture around well, I'm going to come to church to get my blessing, when he's waiting on you in your bedroom. He's waiting on you in your living room. The same God that's here is the same one that follows you there. It's the same one that your children's going to have to be introduced to. My children are always, and I'm not saying look at me, I'm saying my children are always in the presence of the Lord. Do they participate? No. One's 3, one's 6 months. You're lucky if they sit there long enough. You know what I'm saying? But they get a taste of it. They understand. And when she's 4 and when she's 5, and when that one over there is sleeping, when she's 2 and she's 3, they're going to understand this is what I was made for. This is what I desire. You are not your own. And to think that you are your own is selfish. And that's hard to swallow, because I had to swallow it too. It's to think that I must protect this, my life, and keep everything so I'm successful. You are not your own. You are his. Die to yourself. Die to your desires. Die to your motives. Die to your selfish ambitions. Die to those things. Because it's not about you. It's not about me. I'm unworthy enough to preach this thing. It's not about singing the best thing. It's not about up here playing the keyboard. It's not for me. It's not for my praise. Come in low. I always say when David got called to be a minister, when he got anointed to be a minister, what else did he do after that? He went back to the field. He didn't go. He wasn't already a king. Can I tell you what got him in the king's palace to Saul? His gift. He needed a harp player. Guess what David could do? He could play the harp. It's not about your gift, but he will use your gift. It's not about the gift. The gift. It says the gifts are. I know a lot of gifted people. I know a lot of people who speak in tongues, and I know a lot of people who prophesy, but you wouldn't know they do on Monday.
Come on, brother.
And that's where we're at in the church in America.
So true. So true.
That's where we're at.
So true.
I encourage you. I know I'm 27 years old. Most of you have been doing this thing a lot longer than I've been alive. I'm not calling you old. I'm just saying. I'm saying a lot of you have been doing this thing since you've known me since I was that little. And the thing that we were after when I was that little till I am now is the same thing. Yes. He hasn't changed. He hasn't changed. He will never change. Our hearts must change. Our hearts must be after him with everything we got. We must lay ourselves and our desires. We must lay ourselves. Can I tell you another thing? We must lay our gifts down. Just because he isn't using our gifts yet, doesn't mean you're less gifted. It just means he wants you to seek him a little bit more. I remember when I first got in 2016, I moved from here. And I got to the church. I was a youth pastor for a year. I mean, we were booming. We were doing things. You know what I'm saying? We were doing it. No hearts was changing, but we had a lot of people in the seats. You know what I'm saying? And remember I got to where I'm at now, the well, and I said, all right, I want you to use me. Can I tell you what I did? He sat me down for 6 months. It was the best. It was the hardest, but the best 6 months of my life. Because there were some things that I had to tear down that he was working on in me to make sure that when I opened my mouth again, I wasn't the same Evan I was 6 months ago. And I want to tell you, I'm not the same Evan I was in 2017 when I became the youth pastor. I'm not the same Evan I was in 2015 when I was a youth pastor at Winfield. Because I understand that it's not about me being up here teaching you you already know the thing. You already know what we're after. You already know what he's after. Bottom line is you have to lay yourself down. You understand that your pride is not as important as the presence of Jesus. My pride is only going to get in the way of me seeing him. It says the pure at heart will see Jesus. The pure at heart will see God. I read this book, and it said purity is not the flashiest thing, but when it walks in a room, it'll arrest the entire room. Something is only as powerful as it is pure. If you're doing it to be seen, you'll get your reward. But if you're doing it just to please his heart, we must know what moves the heart of God. There's a time to be quiet, and there's a time to sing with a shout. There's a time to speak. There's a time to talk, and there's a time to just lay down. There's a time. Make sure that when you walk in here and when you walk out there, that everything you do pleases the heart of God. There's a song out, I just want to move your heart. Not a huge fan of the band. We won't get in that situation. We're not even going to go there. I'm just going to say I love the song. I just want to move your heart. That's all I want to do. Because when you do things to move his heart, everything else in the room, the church will fall in place. The church, the heart of the church will fall in place. And when you find the people who will run with you to his heart, you will realize that nobody has the lead. You're all running the same race. You will realize there is not this trying to get to a position. You're all running the same race. And you'll realize when you look over, you'll see this person and that person. And you're not, one is not behind another, and one is not in front of the other. You're right in line because there's one goal in mind, and that's Jesus. Some of you are looking at me like, well, that makes me uncomfortable. I can't tell you how many times that has made me uncomfortable. Can't tell you how many times I've had to lay my pride down to just lift my hands. But we do it. We do it just because we've been taught that. You understand when you lift your hands, it's a sign of surrender. It's a sign of, I'm giving you everything. I'm giving you everything I got. I don't want it anymore. I don't desire it anymore. You can have it. If this gets in the way of me and you, I don't want it. If my gift gets in the way of me and you, don't use my gift. Just let me see you. When I said earlier, about we've built this thing around what we can receive, not what cost us. Might mess up a few words. Forgive me, I'm not the best reader. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I have become sounding brass or a clanging cymbal. And though I have the gifts of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I can remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. Can I tell you something about love? Most of us in here are married, so you understand what love is. It costs you something. Yes. Love costs you. Love costs you to lay yourself down for the other person. I lay myself down every day to please my wife, to make sure she has everything she needs, to make sure she knows I love her. I lay my pride down. It's the same thing. Your marriage is a reflection of your relationship with Jesus. And to Jesus with the relationship of the church, your marriage is. Make sure that you understand there is no compromise when there is with love. Love, you understand, you lay yourself down. You don't compromise your love for this worldly thing over here. You love because he first loved us. When you understand that this thing, he loves me, it's a whole lot easier to love this way when you understand he's loving you. How do you understand? How do you get that? How do I get that? Get on your face. Guys, that's the answer to all of the questions I'm going to throw out. Get on your face. Well, I made snot nose cry. Been there. It's ugly. I'm a mess. Don't let Austin back there for you. I've seen him cry too. Snot nose cry. I mean, boo-hoo. I mean, just.
Hallelujah. Bless you, Jesus.
I don't normally do this. Dad said 11:30, but I'm gonna leave the room for you. In a minute, I want everybody to come up, and I want you to get on your knees. And I want you to understand that when you're on your knees, this is where the church is supposed to be. Wait a minute, that's uncomfortable. You don't have to come up here. You can go back there. You can go over here. But at some point, somewhere in the room, get on your knees and just love Him. And if somebody wants to come up here, Beth can sing, or if Dad wants to come up here, I don't care. But that's what people want to see when they walk in the room. They don't want to see you getting ready and get everything prepared. They want to see your heart's prepared. They want to see you understand that what I say is not going to change you. But if the presence of God walks in a room, it will change everything about your life. My preaching will not change your heart. He will. I can stay up here and I can preach you down on the floor, and I can preach to you till I'm blue in the face. It will not change your heart. He will. Brother Steve can get up here and cry to you and speak in tongues to you and understand that he can shout you down. It's not going to change you. He will. Can I tell you what that shows about Brother Steve? That shows his heart. That shows his desire. His desire is to see the presence of the Lord in the land of the living. The goodness of God in the land of the living. So I don't want you, like I said, if you can, find a place in the room. And there is no formula. I'm not going to give you a play-by-play on how to talk to him. Talk to him.